Bada bing, bada.
Hi.
Hi. I like how close you got to the mic for that. I have to. Like that and the boom at the end. I feel like I have to.
That was nice ASMR.
Thank you.
I liked that.
Yeah,
I liked that.
So it's just us this week.
It's weird.
We are in person.
So that's weird too.
Yes, and we're not sure where to look.
We don't know who to look at.
So our screen name this week, it's kind of a joint screen name.
Yeah.
Because the way we're recording together in person. And our screen name is Together Forever. It's the number 2 together and then the number 4 ever.
Thank you for specifying.
It needed to be said.
It did. And I also, when you were saying joint screen name, it made me think of couples who share Facebooks. So yeah, we're Together Forever. We're that couple from your hometown that share your screen name.
I answered the messages. I was trying to think who's the receipt because it's usually one person who like
really
runs the account.
Okay, and so which one of us did the infidelity?
Oh,
probably me, right?
I guess if I'm answering the messages, yeah,
it's probably me.
Yeah,
okay. Yeah, I'll take that.
That's hilarious. Okay, so updates this week. I'll let you lead the charge.
I would like to lead this one. However, I don't have the answer to it yet. But we did forget to say show's screen name. Oof. Last week when Show and Sam were with us, we went through mine, we went through Tori's, we went through Sam's, and then somehow we just skidooed right on to the next thing.
Yeah, that's out of touch of us.
And she hasn't responded, so we don't know what the screen name was to announce it. But once she texts me back, I'll bop it in here.
And it's not that she hasn't responded because we texted her 3 days ago. It was
because I just texted her
like 3 minutes ago,
if that. So yeah, no, fair point.
Also on updates, last week we were talking a lot about why we think Reputation, Taylor's version, Amber's taking deep breaths over here, is going to be at least announced, maybe even dropped on 8/20.
Yeah.
It is now 8/22, and the world is still without Reputation, Taylor's version.
Yeah.
And it's been a rough couple days, I will say.
It has. We had whole ass guests on our podcast to talk about how Reputation was going to come out, and then it didn't. Great. So I don't know who to place my complaint with formally. What complaint box do I put this in? Like, do I send it to Taylor's people?
Maybe Taylor Nation.
Yeah, that's fair.
But like, it's like I don't want to discourage her from like giving us Easter eggs too. So like, I don't really.
There's nobody that we can go to except for our therapists.
True. Yeah.
And they're gonna, you know what they're gonna say? We can't control that.
Shoot. I will say my therapist recently told me that she's not a Swiftie. I know. I was like, wow, it's been going so well.
Oh my gosh. That makes you think about a person a little differently.
No, it does. Yeah.
Especially a woman. And
she's known for a long time that I am a Swiftie, so I almost feel like she's been lying by omission.
Wow. Did you tell her that? Did you share?
No, I'm afraid I'm not the authority in this situation.
That's fair.
But she was like, I do have a confession. She was like, I'm not a Swiftie.
So she was thinking about it.
Yeah, I was like, that's fine. This is fine.
Oh my gosh, your face is getting a little red.
Feeling a little bit.
It's not fine.
Oh boy, yeah. So,
well, you know what? You're just gonna have to find a new therapist.
Yeah, no, I think so. Yeah, it's been going well. We had a good run.
Yeah,
but
it's time to.
How can she really understand me?
Yeah, I don't think she can. She can't break down the psychology of why you do what you do. Like, she doesn't understand that.
The amount of explaining I have to do about why it was going to be 8/20 is going to cost me a lot of money.
Right.
Like, it's going to take like 3 or 4 sessions.
Yeah.
Just for me to explain it all. By then, I may have clowned another 2 or 3 times. I don't know. So,
and you can't
it's going to get
send
expensive.
her the podcast to listen to it because like that would be inappropriate.
Maybe. Is it?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know anymore.
What's right and what's not?
Yeah.
Not clear.
I guess I could ask her. I have told her the podcast name. So maybe she has listened. I don't know. So what's going on this week? So this is one of those it's almost like when TTPD came out. Like this whole episode is going to be pretty Taylor centric.
Yeah, that's fair. I feel like I don't really have that much to share besides that.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's kind of
is what it is.
Yeah, the last week. Although we did not get the Reputation announcement, we did get one of the best Eras Tour performances we've ever gotten.
It was insane.
She did Florida. Florence came up from under the stage in this beautiful, like, witch's gown. What was that?
It was almost like a robe, but a robe that would have been worn in, like, a different century, and it had lace and sleeves, and it was just, like, flowy.
What is that lyric? Like, all my girls have their something and
their lace and their
crowns. Crowns?
Maybe it is.
All my girls got their lace and their crimes. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds.
I kind of like crowns too, though. That's great.
Sometimes I sing crowns.
I feel like that robe, sometimes or every time.
Every single time.
I feel like that robe is really like giving that lyric though. All my girls have their lace. It's like a robe you'd be wearing like as a single woman drinking your wine late at night. Like,
yes.
I love the outfit. The choreography too. Like,
yes.
And now,
did you notice that Florence was barefoot?
No.
That felt so right to me because anytime I've seen Florence performing, I'm pretty sure she's like always barefoot.
Really?
But that just seems so right that she's running around in this like gorgeous dress with no shoes on.
I love that. Yeah. And her hair, her curls, like,
she's got beautiful hair.
And it just looks so natural too. Love it.
Yeah.
And then we know now what they were. I don't know. Did you see all the TikToks about like the lights at the stadium were going off on Sunday night, but they didn't perform Sunday night. So everyone was like, what are they planning? And there are all these green lights like shining from the stadium. Now we know what they were rehearsing. It was the Florida.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that that's what. Yeah. So interesting.
And then Jack came out and they recreated this scene from when they were coming up with the lyrics from Getaway Car, and they were also just so freaking cute together.
Yes. Like, they're so dorky.
Yeah. Jack looked like such a dweeb up there. Like, his pants are up to his nipples. Like,
yes. Like, you might as well just pull them up to your neck at this point. Like, why even bother with a shirt?
But just, it works for him. Like, it looks, I don't know. It's very Jack. And they were just so cute together, like, back to back.
Yes.
Doing the acoustic
They're cute
guitar.
friends.
So yeah, that was just like such an iconic performance. And I think I've decided never ever am I gonna buy tickets to any Taylor Swift show that's not in London.
Yeah.
Because they got Ed Sheeran too. I mean, and then they got So Long London.
Yeah. So many things happened in the last week while she was performing. And now she's on a break until like mid-October now, right?
I think so, yeah. And we do have the VMAs coming up too. We'll get into that when we get a little bit.
Yeah, I keep wanting to skip to it, but I won't.
And also, I don't know, I don't think this happened this week. It may have been last week, but I saw it this week. There is a Taylor Swift wax doll. Is that what you call them? Wax sculpture?
And you mentioned this, and I haven't seen it, so I'm going to Google it while we're filming.
Okay, I just want to see your raw reaction.
It looks like someone impersonates Taylor Swift.
Right, like it's so close to the mark, yet they missed it so much.
And like, did she wear boots like that with this outfit even?
She does not have those boots on.
Because she's got great legs. She's showcasing her legs.
Yeah.
And also, her romper is purple. The wax museum thing is blue.
Yeah. And it's just like her cheeks. What are they doing with their cheeks there? They made her very round. Like,
and also, why does she look like she's 47?
And the bangs aren't it. Like,
the shape of her face is wrong. She does not have a butt chin.
People are scared of it, is kind of the general.
It looks
consensus.
Was this created by AI?
Right.
Like, are we sure it's not AI?
It was just printed. The 3D printer. So there's that.
I got the Celestial bodysuit for Midnight. I know Tori's not a huge fan of it, I loved it.
Everyone loves it. Yeah.
I thought, well, okay, it's maybe not my favorite bodysuit. I love that she nods to other things that she's worn previously.
Yeah.
So it reminds me of the dress she wore on her birthday.
That's one of my favorite outfits she's wearing.
The best dress I've ever seen in my life. And there's a lot of variations of that dress.
Mm.
I've seen a lot on the internet. There's like colorful ones. There's ones that are really expensive. Oh, just kidding. Like really, like several mortgage payments.
No,
probably.
Okay with that.
Can't even do that.
And then have you played football? You haven't, right?
Mm-mm.
So Sam and Show and I played it this time around. Sam did really good. I know she was 6 for 6 at one point, and then I don't know how she did after that because we were all just crying that we didn't get reputation.
Yeah.
But Sam was really on point. I knew the second she came out in the berry dress for folklore, I was like, there's no way. Because orange, I can make orange work for reputation.
Right.
And we had all orange and green. I can make that work.
Right.
And then she came out in berry, and I'm like, that's not reputation. And then 1989, what was it? Pink and
I don't even remember.
Pink and yellow, I think, or orange and yellow.
Well, and it's just there were so many signs.
What was the 2-0? Taylor Swift. Taylor Allison Swift, if you're out there, I know you're listening to this. What was the 2-0 in? Was it for I Can Do It with a Broken Heart music video?
Or Florida, like getting performed for the first time with Florence? I don't know. Like, I have a hard time believing. But yes, that's a good point though. We did get the I Can Do It with a Broken Heart music video, which very interesting. At the end of the video, I Can Do It with a Broken Heart is trademarked. And there are no other music videos. Like, the title of a song is not trademarkable.
Right.
So there's a copyright.
Oh no. Not the copywritten again. It's not copyrightable.
I'm not gonna say that.
Okay.
But you said it. So yes, it's out there. So there's a lot of speculation whether this is a part of a bigger documentary. I know my poopa is just out. Every time I look over there, it's like,
and they clearly have all this behind the scenes, like high quality footage. So they could totally do a documentary. Also, which I can't remember where she was at the first show that she came back, and TTPD had been released, and she added TTPD to the set list. There was a film crew that night.
It was Paris, I think.
Paris, yes.
Yeah.
And there was a film crew there, I think, for those couple nights, definitely the first night. So I wonder too if we're gonna get an updated like Eras Tour movie.
That would be amazing. I would love to be able to watch TTPD in high def, especially if Florida is included.
Oh my gosh.
Was there a film crew there?
I don't think so, but I'm sure like because there's always a minor film crew, I think there.
Right.
If they could at least like add it to just bop it in at the end, they did with the surprise song. I don't know why you would put it in, but if you can't, just bop it in at the end.
I think we should just get a yearly update.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Eras Tour. Like if we're gonna keep doing Eras Tour, then I want to keep getting.
Yeah, and it does. Like you're right. There could be some kind of like documentary as well, which I think they're due for a documentary. Right?
Yes.
What was the last one? Miss Americana.
Yeah.
Or was it Long Pond?
Actually, yeah, Long Pond. I feel like that's
yeah.
I love that one.
It's great. I love that she like talks about all her reason for writing.
Yes, and it just makes me want it. I want fall so bad when I put that on. I'm gonna find that dress this year. I'm gonna find
which
plaid dress.
Okay.
It's like has like a crisscrossy situations, like green, plaid. Yeah, that's gonna be neat.
I really like the isn't it like a velvet one she's wearing when she's talking about peace?
Yes, I have found that dress on Poshmark before. It's 3 people.
Oh, mention that one.
Well, because
mortgage payments.
Honestly, not that bad because it's like a really old dress now. So a lot of times you can find them for like reasonable. You have to just like search the name of it, which I probably have in my Poshmark and can give it to you.
Okay.
And then you like look up like 3 people and then whatever the name of the dress is, and you'll probably find a bunch of them that are like under $50.
Oh,
regular price, like when they were brand new, they were probably like $160.
Okay, well, that's still not too bad, but kind of out of my price range.
Right, it's like one of those things where it's like I could like see myself doing that for something that like I would wear a lot.
Yeah,
but like I'd rather just buy it secondhand. So yeah, we're gonna find all the dresses.
Okay.
Yeah, and the like hat that she wears too.
Yes.
Yeah.
That like bowler hat.
Yes.
Oh my
like
gosh.
Newsboy.
I don't know if I could pull it off, but I love it. Okay, so second time doing the word of the week segment. This week our word is taradiddle.
And I just don't believe that that's a word. So I'm curious to hear the meaning.
Okay, the meaning is a petty lie. And in a sentence, no sane person would make up such a taradiddle.
Okay, see, I thought that this was like an inside joke between you and Tara.
No, but when I saw that this was a word, I was like, never mind. I'm not gonna say it.
I do want to interrupt for a second and just let us all know that I did get the text back from Shoshana, and she said she thinks it was the smallest clown who ever lived. And now that sounds like it jogs my memory. I thought like taradiddle meant like something silly Tara says or something. Is what I was expecting.
It should. I think that we should change the definition.
Right. We can Urban Dictionary it.
Ooh,
yeah.
Good point.
We can upload it.
Yeah, we have the power.
Pop it in there. We do. We make all the decisions apparently.
So Tinder-ventures, I'm very needy. I've realized as well. Like I want someone who's going to be texting with me all day long.
Yeah.
And it's okay, like, if there's some breaks here and there. But I do want pretty constant
That's funny because that's kind of how I feel about us. It's like, yeah, I want to always be talking. I understand if you've got to, take care of your baby or you got to go to a work thing. But, like, why aren't we? If it's gotten to, like, 10 a.m. and I haven't texted you yet, I feel so out of touch.
Right. And I want that in a partner. I want like a best friend that I can be just chatting with all day long.
Yes.
And if you're not giving me that energy, then I'm just being very picky and you gotta go. You gotta get
on.
Yeah. I had 2 dates planned this week. One bailed and then one we did the date. So none of these dates were in person.
Okay.
The one date was on a FaceTime call, and that was nice. So I had a FaceTime date with Tom. It went well. I was honestly glad that I did it because I kind of got out of my like comfort zone because I'm the millennial in me hates a phone call.
Yeah, for sure.
So I was very intimidated.
I get nervous before every work meeting that's like a video situation.
Yes.
No, thank you. And even the people who I love meeting with, I still just get very anxious about that.
Yeah. I did diamond my way through it.
Amazing.
Which helped a lot. Yeah. He's a very nice guy. I think the only thing, and it might change like as I get to know him more, and like maybe if we hang out in person, but just not a lot of jokes.
He's not making you laugh.
Yeah, and maybe I don't know if I'm making him laugh either. So yeah, maybe it's just that like our humor doesn't align super well.
I feel like that is hard.
Yeah, and it might also just because we were like nervous on a phone call too. So and the first time like talking to each other,
something could develop.
And then Baby Boy and I were supposed to play Fortnite. I think I talked about that last week, but we actually like set a time. He like texted me one morning, was like, do you want to play Fortnite? This guy is 29, by the way. I'm just going to like put that out there that when he's
not 20.
Right. Or 18 or anything under.
I know, because when you were telling the story and you're like talking about how you had to go back and check your filter, mine and Terrell's faces were just like,
yeah, no, it's okay. I had to say, no, it's okay. But yeah, he bailed on me. And he said that he had fallen asleep and
that's why I smiled as soon as you started talking about this, because I remembered why he canceled.
Okay, so he fell asleep and then woke up and wasn't feeling good. Fair.
Totally fair.
But it did make me laugh a little bit just because, and then I said, no worries, I hope you feel better. And he said, thank you, I probably just need to eat. And for all I know too, like maybe because I know I've gotten nervous before like a date or something and I'm just like, no, I don't want to do it. So maybe that's like actually what happened. I don't know. But it did give me a little bit of a chuckle just because we call him Baby Boy. And that's literally like my baby has.
Well, I was just picturing him like Boss Baby with a bottle in his mouth. Like he's got why is he wearing a 3-piece suit and he's also drinking a bottle? Because he's Baby Boy.
So that just gave me a little chuckle. But we'll probably reschedule.
I really hope something pans out there,
just
just so that when I meet him, I can just be like, do you know your origin story?
I know. So, new guy, Freddie.
Mm-hmm.
We've moved to Snapchat. He's giving me a lot of attention. You know that I like that.
It's working for us.
Ticking that box, and that's an important box.
It's the first box.
So yeah, we've been talking and having fun and a little flirty and like all of that's going well. So we decided we're gonna go on a date, quite the ambitious date.
It is ambitious.
Yeah, so we're gonna go to Halloween Horror Nights together at Universal Studios. So it's like this Halloween event with all these haunted houses. I've never been. Have you?
Yes.
Okay.
I peed my pants, and it was great. It was so fun.
I think it's a really good idea for a first date.
I think so too.
Because it's like it makes you kind of snuggle because I will be clinging to whoever's closest to me.
I broke someone's hand, I think. Like I was in a group and they were like all like, I'm not standing next to her for this one.
I have been known to lose my group because I cling so much to the people in front of me.
Tori's gonna be like walking with a perfect stranger.
like I've had their whole bicep in my hands before. It's inappropriate.
It's a genius. Did he suggest it?
Yes, because he's a pass holder, so he goes all the time. And he also moved here recently from New York, kind of recently in the last like 3 years, I think. So the theme parks are still kind of like new to
exciting.
Him. Like that was my thing in high school, and like right after high school, I had the passes and I was going all the time. But anyways, yeah. Initially, I was supposed to go next Friday, but then I had a previous engagement that I had forgotten about.
She double booked.
Yeah, I did double book. And it's kind of a good thing because he also had like 4 friends who were bringing their significant others as well. So it was going to be a group of like 10 people.
Yeah.
Which I will say, I've been like hermiting the last month, so I was actually kind of down for it, which is rare.
It sounds fun. And also it kind of takes some of the pressure off, but also it's like, if they're all his friends, are you just being judged the whole time?
Right.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I was looking forward to it, and usually I wouldn't be. That's too much for me usually, but I've just been in a more social mood lately, so I was like, oh, this will be fun. But we're going to reschedule to a different date, and we'll probably just go just the 2 of us. Which will be nice too.
Yeah.
So yeah, looking
it
forward
is
to
so
that.
fun. Yeah, you're gonna have a great time.
Heck yeah.
Except for like the $15 beers.
Yeah.
Like I fucking hate theme parks.
I have to drive home, so I'll probably only have one anyways.
That's good because that's all that's in the budget. That's all we've allotted for.
Yeah. Oh, and speaking of forgetting birthdays, popping back to Tom for a second, he has been telling me, so when we had that call together, he mentioned his birthday was coming up. Yesterday, he mentioned his birthday was coming up. Yesterday, he mentioned it would be today. And then this morning, he like reached out and texted me, and I was just like, how's the morning going? I'm having a slow start. And he said, me too. I'm like, oh, we love that. And this was probably the opportunity. This was the point where I should have said happy birthday if I was a decent fucking human.
Right.
And I'm not at all. I don't know what is wrong with me when it comes to birthdays. I cannot remember them.
It's your toxic trait, honestly. Like if we had to pick one, it's that.
That I should add to my profile because that's not a lie.
It's not. My toxic trait is I can't remember anyone's birthday, including my own sometimes.
Yeah.
I would like to add.
No, mine surprises me. I'm not going to lie.
All the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just feel terrible. He texted me later in the day of like a picture of him and his son, and they're getting hot dogs. And he's like, my birthday's been good so far. And then I went, oh, it's his birthday.
And he
told me, how did I not? And he would have remembered mine. Like, I know it.
Yeah.
So I don't know how to recover.
I'm not sure if you can.
Okay.
Maybe you can.
Yeah. I mean, I can't just leave him on red on his birthday.
You haven't responded?
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't know what to say. I don't know how to recover. What do I say?
You got to make something up. You had a flat tire.
I told him I had a slow start to the day.
Well, it went downhill quick. Okay. We've got to think on our feet. Yeah, no, I'm not sure how you recover from that. Have you asked ChatGPT?
No, but that's a good idea.
Yeah, sometimes.
Maybe she can write me a script.
Yeah. Like, ChatGPT, can you write me a birthday poem / apology?
Oh, that's a great. Oh, maybe Yeah, do something nice for his birthday to make up for the fact that I'm an asshole.
But also, maybe he hasn't noticed. You think? That maybe he didn't notice that you didn't acknowledge it.
No way.
I don't think it's likely. I'm just saying it's possible.
No way. He's been telling me.
Especially because he said, like, my birthday's going so well. Like, he obviously realized you forgot.
Yes.
Instead. And so I think you should just say, yes, I forgot it's your birthday.
I have to own up to it.
I will not. I don't know what you want from me.
Well, yeah, I don't want to throw that. I think I just own up to it. I think that's what I do. I think I just say, sorry, I'm a dick.
Happy birthday.
You had a good birthday. Oh my God, yeah.
I don't think it's gonna be that heavy for him. It's not like you guys are like it probably sucks a little for him, but I doubt it's like that big of a deal.
You know, such a jerk. Okay. So we'll put that in the updates next week. How Tori recovered. TBD. So it's a whole year. Yeah. So who knows if we'll even get that. At least there's some time. I don't have to worry about. How do we feel about ... clowning for reputation anymore?
Okay. I think where I stand is if it does not come out by the end of this year, I will not clown again.
So you've still got some clown in you?
I think so.
Okay.
I don't think I've clowned that many times.
Okay.
Myself.
Okay.
I think I've been along for some of the clowning. And I definitely bought into this 820 situation.
No, we all did.
I really think it would be smart if she used the VMAs as an opportunity to either just give us the album as the VMAs, just no explanation, give us reputation, because that's the scene of the original crime.
Oh, now that's true.
So I do think something could be announced there.
Yeah. I didn't think about it in that light because I was thinking probably not the VMAs because she did the Grammy. Was it the Grammys?
When she announced TTPD?
Yeah. So I was thinking probably not because it's the same format almost. But you raise a good point that because the Kanye stuff happened.
The Kanye of it all.
At the VMAs. Yeah.
That's where their beef started. So it would make sense. And I believe this year is like 15 years since that happened.
I wish it was 13.
I know, but we all do. Don't we all? But so I do think there's a strong possibility for that.
Years. Great point.
So I don't know. I think I still have some clown in me.
Okay.
Am I a little wary? Yeah.
Is that how you say it? Say wary? Like you're wearing something?
Right. Wary. What do you say?
Weary.
Oh, do you know pronunciation podcast? You know I'm not going to say it right.
You might be right though, honestly.
Wary.
Yeah. Although I will say she's wrong sometimes. She doesn't agree with
her pronunciation's horrible.
Yeah.
So I don't know why we're taking anything she says.
But let's do it.
I will say it's spelled wary.
I feel like it's spelled weary. Like where, yeah, but like teary. You know, you're teary-eyed. So yeah, I think I feel at this point I feel like I'm done clowning for some time. Like just wake me up when reputation's here. I say that now, but I know. Check in with me a week before the VMAs.
Yeah, let's check in with her, which is
what,
not that far away. It's like a week or two.
VMAs are September 10th.
Okay, so it's the 22nd.
And Chapel Roan is performing at the VMAs too, I think. So we'll see. Check in with me next week, I guess.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, so for funny text this week, my first one is from my boss.
Nice.
Yeah, but it was switching it up this week
Different
a bit.
Yeah.
And this one needs a little bit of context. I was with my coworker and we were going out to spray invasive species. When we spray invasive species, we have to get the UTV and we put our equipment in the UTV and we drive that around and spray from the UTV. To get the UTV to the site, we have to put the trailer on the truck. And then we go to my boss's house, we pick up the UTV, put the UTV on the trailer, and then bring all that to the site.
Okay.
So we got all our equipment packed up in the truck. We text our boss that we're on the way.
Ooh.
We're about halfway to his house.
Okay.
And we realized that we did not put the trailer on the truck. So the text here says we're on the way, and he sends a thumbs up. And then I say, oops, forgot the trailer, turning around. And he says, no kidding, question mark. That's one for the books. That's like forgetting your pants, exclamation point.
I mean, he's right.
He's right.
It's like the whole point. It's the trailer,
Right? We're literally going to pick up something. It can't go in the truck. We have to put it on the trailer, but we don't have the trailer.
That's so out of touch.
How funny would it have been if we pulled up to his house
Without the trailer? I'm not sure if he would have found the humor in that.
I think you would have.
My first text is from Birdie.
Okay.
To surprise to nobody.
Love her.
And she says, it's 10 a.m., by the way, when I get this text. Making the girls toaster strudels, and Lucy somehow got the icing packet while they're cooking. She's squeezing it, trying to thaw it out, and it just pops open, sending icing all over my living room like a goddamn party cannon. All over my face, my laptop, BG's hair, the couch, and then in shouty caps, she ends it with, can someone study the velocity of a strudel icing pack? Because what the fuck?
No, the laptop sent me.
Yeah, and it's a brand new laptop. She just got it for her birthday.
Mm.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep. Okay.
It's a good one.
Mine appears to be from Sam.
It appears to be.
It's hard to tell. Okay. So this one, I believe, was you and me, Amber. I don't know because I cut out of the screenshot where it says who the text was with, but it's giving a you and me conversation. Okay. I'm not sure what I was talking about here, which is even funnier once you get into this. But I said, just added it to my to-dos and going to forget about it until I get there, LOL. You said, add it to the bucket of bucket that is currently overflowing.
The bucket of bucket, it has so many.
It's spilling.
It's spilling everywhere.
It's like when you go to those water parks and it has the bucket and it tops. It's like that, but it's constantly filled. It doesn't need to be filled up. It
needs no more water, but the water is still being put in. And it's like, stop with the water. And the water's like...
Yeah, and the kids are just getting like smashed by that wave.
Yeah. A few people have drowned. Just slips out. My next text is from Shoshana, and it's actually not a text, it's a message on Instagram, but it's fine. And it's a meme that Big Brother posted, and it's Angela and Tucker hugging, and Tucker's kind of like smirk smiling, and also there's a spirit of like the deep fake Angela, just like the spirit of her. You see her?
Okay, yeah.
Over here. And the quote with the meme says, she was fearless and crazier than him. She was his queen, and God help anyone who dared disrespect his queen. And I just love that. It is very, you can't see this.
There she goes showing things to the camera again. You know, I will say that Shoshana did that with Leah's dress when we were recording, and it worked for her.
Yeah.
So I think she's just not as out of touch as us.
She's got different screen settings. Clearly.
Must be. Or she's
gotta be.
She's just more in touch, I think.
That's fair.
No, that's funny. So funny. What did you say? Deep fake Angela?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It was when Quinn was the deep fake HOH.
Oh, right.
And
okay.
She was like, that's not me.
Yeah.
Okay. It's like the spirit of deep fake.
Right. Okay.
It's like just hovering over Tucker's shoulder.
Yeah. Okay. So this one's from Tara. She said, okay, who the heck is Birdie? I'm listening to the pod while working, and I figured one day you guys would say who Birdie is. But who the heck is Birdie? Is that her real name? And then I sent her a voice note saying who Birdie was.
Yeah.
And then she said, oh, okay, LOL. I thought it was going to be some big reveal one day. And I said, I don't think so. I don't know what our plan was with that, but Birdie is hilarious though. She said, I think of Big Bird every time, or like a D character from It's Always Sunny. Because we're calling her Birdie.
Birdie. Yeah. That makes sense.
I forgot why she said that for a second.
I always forget that they call the Big Bird a bird.
I can never forget that. It's like one of the funniest parts of the show to me.
The way they troll her. Yes.
When she turns into an emu on that Halloween.
Oh. Yeah, that's good. No, that's hilarious that we have been talking about Birdie this long and have not, because we were going to reveal it, and then it just didn't work out that she came on the podcast, and then we just
is that when we were going to, I didn't know the plan.
We were going to, yeah, and then honestly, she was always comfortable with us calling her by her real name.
Right, because her real name is in the first couple episodes.
Yeah, and so it's like, and so, yeah.
So it's just kind of the lore of the podcast at this point.
Yeah,
I think.
Built in.
I was about to go.
I knew it. I knew it. This is again from Birdie, and it is a meme that she sent me on Instagram, and it's like one of those where it's like, it's a meme for every astrological sign. So she always sends me those. Like she'll send me the Aries one, and she'll send the Gemini one for herself. So this one is an Aries one. And it says, struggling to hold 17 items at the grocery store because baskets are for gatherers and I was born a hunter. Now, the funny part of this is where she puts a little message underneath and she says, this reminds me of when you called Caleb a gatherer. And Caleb's one of my husband's friends who he has tried to hunt many times, and they practiced hunting, like they prepped for hunting, and this man cannot kill a deer. Okay.
Oh.
And so
like he doesn't want to.
No, he just can't. He can't do it. Oh. He wants to. He cannot. And one day when he was over and I was just talking shit, I was like, "You're a gatherer, Caleb. I don't know what to tell you. And there's nothing wrong with being a gatherer, but you are a gatherer,
right? So, at some point, you have to kind of recognize your role." Yeah. This one is from Amber. I sent her a voice note saying that my computer's being weird and it's not starting up. It's doing this weird update thing. It's been a whole week with that. That should have been on what's going on.
It's been a whole life of that.
No, it's been this. It's doing a new extreme update thing this week.
Yeah.
So yeah, I sent that to Amber, and then Amber said it's Riverside's fault. The computer stuff. I mean, I probably didn't need to read that part. It's Riverside's fault. And I said has to be, because we blame everything that goes wrong with our computers at all on Riverside now, which we are utilizing to record this podcast. So That's just, that's that. And then I said has to be. She said, they have been the one haunting us all along, ... The clockers, Tori, ... It's all making sense now. And then she sent the meme of Charlie from It's Always Sunny in front of the Where's Carol board.
Happy Silvio. It's my favorite meme of all time.
This is a pretty It's Always Sunny centric and Birdie centric funny text segment. Okay.
Yeah, pretty good.
This one's anonymous. It says, I'm getting through these morning meetings and then I'm herniating in my cave for the rest of the day. And I knew instantly that this had to be a typo, because who herniates in their cave or shares that with anyone? So I said, my only response is that's my favorite typo. Yeah.
That's a good one. Yeah. That's a pretty good typo.
All right, that's it for funny texts.
We have the Love Island. Okay. It did not disappoint. It did not. It was great. Everyone looked amazing. Ariana,
stunning.
Just
every
incredible.
Time. She's never not stunning.
No, she slays every single time. She's never not slaying.
I will say, I love Janae. Hated her dress.
That was a bad dress. And I feel like she, most of the time, like, I like her outfit.
Yeah, I think it was like a kind of a bold choice, and for me it just didn't hit, but I am also not a fashion authority, so
it was like it looked like stone.
Yeah, it was giving Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah, I've never seen that.
Okay. It didn't look anything like their outfits, but I don't know, it just looked like a sheet was wrapped around her or something. Like, Yeah, I was not feeling that dress.
Now, I will say my favorite part of the entire reunion was anyone and everyone who trolled Andrea for the finger guns.
Yes, that was.
And they did it several times. I would have cried.
Ariana right out the gate. Like,
yes.
I was surprised actually that Ariana did it.
I saw an interview with Cordell and Rob that had to have been filmed the same week as the reunion when they were all in New York. And they asked who's the best kisser. And Rob immediately is like, is Rob a good kisser? Like, Rob does it.
Oh,
even.
Yeah.
So, yeah. My favorite part.
I think my favorite part, and I think you wrote this down on here, but Janae printing out the receipts and bringing the printed
from behind the pillow. Yes. Are you kidding me?
Yes.
It's the best thing that's ever happened in reality TV.
Yes, and literally, when who was it? I think was it Andrea?
It was Andrea, where she pulled it out.
Yeah,
Andrea was talking shit, and Leah was like, "I don't think so."
Mm-hmm. And she's like, "Page 4." Yeah, and reads it.
Everyone's giggling, and she's like, "No, page 4. What are you talking about? We've got receipts, babe."
Love that.
I am so proud of Cordell for getting the Cheez-Its deal. I think we can all agree that is the most hilarious thing. Especially because of how much Serena trolled him about saying that. And then it's like, this man is making money from Cheez-Its.
Yeah.
You have to respect it.
Do it up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see the, the box of Cheez-Its with him on it?
Yeah, that's amazing.
That is great.
I loved his outfit for the reunion.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved Leah's dress. Leah looked incredible.
Leah is probably my favorite look, I think.
Yeah. Hands down. The Kendall and Nicole situation was hard to watch.
Yeah. I think some backstory of like what happened was right before going to Love Island, Kendall had sent a video to someone, and that it was an intimate video.
Yeah.
And that video, that person who he sent it to ended up leaking it or giving it to someone who leaked it. I don't know the details, but yeah, it got out.
Yeah.
And it's probably that person's fault. So I guess this all came out when they came back from Love Island, right? Or was it while they were there?
No, I think it was right when they were getting back, and they were just getting their phones back, and then they were all kind of bombarded with what happened.
Yeah, which is like such an invasion of privacy.
Yeah.
I really feel for him for that, because that's got to be so hard to deal with. And then on top of that, he's got this new relationship that he was very invested in.
Yeah.
He seemed like he really meant like that he wanted to stay with her, that he was in love with her. And she is just very angry that he lied to her. I guess he told her that it was from earlier, like from a long time ago.
Yeah.
And it ended up being, but again, like he has so much going on, and it seems like since then he's been like, sorry, I lied. Like,
yeah,
I just am handling a lot right now, going through a lot. And she is really stuck in her anger.
Yeah.
And it seems like it almost seems strange to be that upset about it. It seems like she's upset about something else.
Yeah. I feel like my impression is that she is embarrassed of the situation and doesn't like that there's a tension on them for this reason.
That's kind of what I'm feeling like as well.
Yeah, because she's like very much not listening to him. And the point here is being entirely lost on, I really liked Nicole. The whole time she was in the house, I liked her a lot.
They were my favorite.
I thought they made a lot of sense together. I thought they meshed really well. And
I feel like they were a lot of people's favorite couples.
They
couple too. So it was, it's pretty crazy.
I was kind of shocked they didn't win, honestly.
Same.
I really thought and I love Serena and Cordell. I think I'm glad that they won, but I really was surprised that Nicole and Kendall didn't win because they seem like such a strong couple.
And I'm really just surprised to see this side of Nicole too.
Yeah.
Like she seemed just like such an emotionally healthy person.
Yeah.
But again, like we only saw her for a small snippet of, her life. But I mean, that's kind of what I got from that.
And I can understand she's upset about the lying part.
Right.
I get that, but it's like, it doesn't justify the way that she's acted. I just don't think you can repair that type of thing.
Yeah, and I agree. Like, her feelings are valid to be upset about being lied to 100%, but like the amount that she's holding on to that anger doesn't seem to line up with like what happened unless there's something else that's upsetting her that she's not saying.
Yeah, and Aaron and Kaylor broke up. It was like, didn't take too long after getting out of the villa for her to come to the realization that he screwed her over. And
I think it was when she saw Casa Amor too, like, and I had a feeling that was going to happen because every like little tidbit they showed her was very hard for her, and understandably so.
Yeah. But they only showed her a small snippet, you know, she didn't see everything at movie night. Mm-hmm. And Aaron obviously didn't tell her everything. So yeah, I was glad to see that they had broken up, honestly, because Kaylor deserves better. Aaron just seems like a slime ball.
He has problems taking accountability, it seems like.
Yeah, because he waited so long to tell her the truth. He was like, well, we're having a great time. I don't want to ruin that. And it's like, well, you've ruined all those times that we're happy are no longer, they're overshadowed by this now.
And he kept only telling her as much as he felt like he had to get out of that sticky situation he was in.
Right.
And then something else would come up like the next week. And it's like, well, you had your chance to be honest about everything and you didn't. And yeah, there's like, Kaylor was upset at one point that like Daniela wasn't telling her some things, but it's like Daniela, and I think Kaylor let that go too. She even said it.
She even acknowledged it. It wasn't Daniela's place. And
and also Daniela wouldn't have understood the significance of some of that stuff. She didn't know that the same handshake that, you know, Aaron did with her, Aaron did with Kaylor before too. So like, or the shower thing too. Like,
yeah, that was so weird how much he carried over. It's creepy.
It's just like his moves. And he's just using them on both of them on.
And they're not even that good. Like the handshake. Like that could be. I could see how that would be cute in the beginning when you first meet someone, and then you find out they did it with somebody else.
Right. And then how many girls are watching that who have dated him previously who had the same handshake?
Yeah. Like, can we start a Slack of all the girls who have done handshakes with Aaron
that were the same handshake,
the exact same one? He's been doing it since middle school. That's the problem. That's been his move since the 6th grade.
Oh my god. Oh, and then we did get the fire pit combo finally.
It was 14 minutes.
There was a reason why they didn't show the whole thing on because I will tell you, by the end of it I was like, I can't even keep track of who said what at this point. They're all like aggressively whispering.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to read the captions. There were 6 screens. We didn't need all the angles.
No,
we could have done.
We did not need all the.
We could have done with
That's
2 angles.
Such a good point.
Like, I appreciate the transparency, but
it was unnecessary.
It was tough to get through.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they're whispering. You could barely hear what they're saying. I think in the end, no one was really pushing for anyone for any malicious reasons.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it seemed like. Like maybe Leo was pushing for Andrea a little bit, but it was because it was like the way she was playing the game, not
right. It wasn't for nefarious reasons,
right?
Because she was trying to get Rob back. Like they all made the best decision that they could in that moment. I am glad that they showed the footage, I guess, just to clear.
I think they had to at this point.
Yeah, because everyone's like, "Ooh, Andrea is gross," and everyone's seeing that Leah is awesome, and that she got dragged when she was in the house,
right?
Because of Rob.
And good on Liv too for apologizing. For that as well.
I really respect the way all the women spoke to each other, and I think they like. There's obviously some tension between the OG girls and like the Casa girls, but I think how could there not be? That's the nature of the Casa.
But even like most of them are like girls with each other.
Good.
Yeah.
And I can't remember the girl's name who Kenny came back with from Casa Amor. But at the beginning of the reunion, Janae sees her and she's like, "Oh my God, you look incredible. I love that dress." Like, she just compliments her.
Yeah.
And PBG, love them.
I will say we got a TikTok sent to us today by Shoshana of Daya. of Daya kind of ragging on Ariana.
Yeah.
And I'm not here for that.
No,
She
not
was
at all.
saying that like Ariana was saying her trauma with being on reality TV was worse than theirs, which I don't think anyone who watched that got that
didn't
from
happen.
what Ariana said. She was relating to them and just
Yeah.
what did she say? It was she was just like, I understand from being on reality TV that people can see you as a character in this show and not as, and she was kind of almost saving face for the cast at that point because no one was like raising their hand with the question she asked.
Right.
So I feel like she was just kind of creating a segue, saving face, moving on to the next topic type of thing and relating to them as a person, which is one of my favorite things about her as a host is that she's very much herself, and I feel like she's able to bring her personality into it more than other hosts because we all know her personality from being on reality TV for so long, and they know that we want that.
Yeah.
But yeah, the way she, I don't know, came for Ariana, like that's not a girl's girl.
No, it's definitely not. And
Big Brother, I know I've watched it all, but I can't nothing like Tucker got HOH again.
Yeah, I can't stand Tucker. I can't wait for him to get out of there.
Yeah. He's so the ego.
Yes. And his fake, he talks in a fake accent. He enunciates in a way that's not his real voice. Yeah. You can tell if you look at his mouth.
Okay.
That it's like, that's not really your voice, my brother in Christ. It's just not. Yeah, I hated to see him win.
Yes. And it was between him and Quinn too.
I know. And the wall competition is like legendary in Big Brother. And my husband and I actually looked up like what was the longest time they've spent up there, and it was like 3.5 hours.
Wow.
I think it was season 14, which was a great season.
Okay.
And this time I think they made it to like 30 minutes. I think it was like 30. Like they all fell off within the first 10.
Yeah.
And then it was just Tucker and Quinn for 20 minutes.
The wall was more tilted.
It does. They do tilt it forward and back. I don't even know if we got to that, like if they even did that.
I don't think it ever came back.
So it does tilt back and forth a lot of the times, and they move it around.
Okay.
In addition to like spraying things at them, the wall like changes.
Okay.
The way it's tilted.
I will say, I felt like this challenge in particular is definitely suited to. And I talked to a couple of people about Big Brother, and you were one of them. This is very suited to like physically fit people and people of a certain size because
you can't be too big or too small.
Yeah, I feel like Rubina, like everyone else's arms are able to go straight out and kind of lock in.
And hers were kind of
because there wasn't one short enough.
It wasn't possible. Yeah. But if you're too big, like Chemo is really, really tall. Yeah. Big tree fall hard. Okay, like they got a long way to go. So it's like, even if they're really strong, if they're too big and too muscly, it almost works against them in this competition. So you do have to be fit, but you're right. You almost have to be a specific body type in order to be successful at the game. It's it's one of the harder competitions that they do.
And I don't know how I feel about that, about not every game being competitive for every person.
They're not because some of them are mental and some people are just better at those. Some of them are physical and some people are better at those. So it is a little skewed.
Yeah,
for sure. And it's interesting to see who ends up winning too. Like Angela has won 2 HOHs. She's not particularly physically fit.
Right.
But she does well in the mental competition. Yeah. So I think it is interesting to see who performs well. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so Tucker got HOH. He sent home Cedric. Mm-hmm. My favorite part of the episode was when Cedric got evicted. He was quite emotional. Yeah. And he's giving his speech in front of the house guests, and he's very clearly about to cry. And all of a sudden, he just yells, "There's a fly in here!" Yeah. And then he like clears his throat and keeps talking. And I'm going to use that.
It's funny because I didn't hear what he said because he yelled it.
He yelled it so abruptly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, what did he just say? Like, that was out of pocket for sure.
There's a fly in here.
And then he also kind of like threw Rubina under the bus real quick at the end. I was kind of surprised by that, actually.
The speeches are always interesting when they're like down to the wire and they have to, like, that's their last chance to save themselves. Yeah. It is interesting to see what they'll say, for sure. Yeah, the fly in here just to kill. That's the only note I wrote down for Big Brother. Was that?
Well, my only note is Angela charcuterie floor.
Charcuterie.
And this one, so we haven't seen this on an episode. It's probably airing right now, right?
I think so. I'm behind. I think I'm behind 2 episodes.
Same.
Right now, I'm pretty sure.
But our girlies are keeping us up with the spoilers.
Yes.
Some of them at least.
I'm fine with Big Brother getting spoiled because there's so much out there on the internet. It almost always gets spoiled. Yeah. Even if it's not so I'd rather it be from Show and Sam than from strangers on the internet.
And this one was hilarious. So apparently, Angela wins a charcuterie board, and the other house guests ask her if they can have some, and Brooklyn apparently does not ask,
but still has some.
And then Angela, you just see her, and these are edits on TikTok, so there's context missing for sure, but you just see Angela laying on the floor, and then she's talking to the camera. What do they call it? Confessional? Or in the confessional, and she's just sobbing, Brooklyn didn't ask.
I can't. It's so absurd.
Oh my gosh. And Brooklyn does seem like kind of a mean girl.
She does. I have to say, I think the beef between her and Angela is kind of ridiculous and came out of nowhere, but they're both very fuck you to the other one. But I don't like either of them.
No.
I was really bummed to see Cedric get kicked out.
Who's your favorite?
Okay, this is a great question. I change my mind all the time. I really like T-Core. I like Quinn. I think he does seem a little sketchy, but he's funny.
He's probably the funniest. I think I told you Baby Boy is a big Brother fan as well. And I thought it was interesting. I asked him who his favorite is, and he doesn't have one this season. And I've never watched other seasons, so I don't know what it's like in other seasons, but I kind of feel the same. I have some people that I like, but I could so easily be convinced that they could not be my favorite. There's no one that I absolutely love. Now, there are people I hate.
Yes. And that's usually so obvious. Those people, you're normally God, I hate them.
Right, yeah.
We'll see random things from previous years, or we'll think of something from previous years, and I'll be oh my God, do you remember how insufferable they were? So I think this season of Big Brother is a lot different than any of the ones I've seen before. I made the joke to my husband that I feel like we're getting old and the players of Big Brother are getting younger. And so maybe it's just this younger generation is playing differently. But typically in Big Brother, historically, the beginning few weeks, everyone tries to kind of band together and they all, they play it safe. Right. For a while and until they have to start playing dirty. And in this case, I think they've already started playing dirty. They've already, T-Core and Chemo voting out Cedric. It was smart move because Cedric could have won. He had the social game. Yeah. Physical game. He had it. He had a very well-rounded game. And even with the drama with Tucker, Cedric still had a really good game. So they were smart to get him out, but a lot of times they don't do that. So they kind of play it safe, or they'll all band together and kind of pick the same people to be against. So I think it's just a really interesting season. But I would say I don't have someone that I'm oh my God, I love them. I just have people.
Do you usually though, at this point?
Yes.
Yeah. So
I usually have somebody that I'm and I agree, I think it's a lot easier to pick out the people that I don't like, but I generally pick a favorite pretty easily.
I will say I'm kind of sad. I know that this season has been so good because it's just so dramatic. So I'm happy that it's my first season for that. But I do kind of want a favorite. And I'm sad that I don't have.
We're going to have to give you specific season 14 is a good one to watch. There were just so many good characters. I know they're not, it's reality TV. Obviously, they're not playing a character, but they feel like characters. That one was really, really good. And that one was the one that they had the 3.5-hour wall competition.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I also just found out today that there's this jury house.
Yes, and I thought it was so funny that you made the connection of like, this is how I felt when I found out about Casa Amor, because I had no idea that was the thing. So the jury is a really big deal, because if you piss off the jury members, you can't win. So it's like, if you make it all the way to the end, but you have made enemies of everyone,
right,
you could still lose.
That's so interesting. So how exactly does it work? So they're going to get 9 jurors by the end, and there's going to be 2 house guests left in the actual house.
Yes. So at a certain point, and it has changed. Like I know Show and Sam were saying, like sometimes it's 9. Last year I think it was 7 jurors.
So it's subject to change.
Yes. Expect the unexpected is the Big Brother slogan.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of, you never know.
Mm-hmm.
But they get evicted like they normally would, but instead of being sent home, they go to a separate house and they start slowly gaining people in jury.
Mm-hmm.
And the people who come into jury each week will bring with them a tape of like the highlights from the last week of like what happened. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't show that the jury members everything. So it is kind of up to the new jurors to sort of fill in the old jurors about like everything that has gone down.
Okay. So the tape only shows competitions, right?
Pretty much, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't think it really focuses on anything else that I can remember. It's mostly just like who won the HOH, who won the veto,
gotcha,
blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
And then they talk about it. But again, it's like really based off of like what the other players tell them when they come to jury, what they're basing their vote off of, and just like whatever time they spent with whoever's still in the house. So
do they ever lie to like get the person?
Not that I can remember. But that would be smart. But again, like they're
out, so
they're out, and other people are still going to continue to come into jury. True. And could.
So it would have to be only the last person could really
right.
But if it was like Rubina and Tucker,
right,
like
it could make a difference. But they so, and then the final 2, when it comes to picking the winner, instead of comping it out, playing competitions, they go in front of the jury, and they're still in the house. Like the 2 people are still in the Big Brother house by themselves. Mm-hmm. The jury is out in the studio with Julie, and they 1-by-1 vote for who is the winner of Big Brother.
So it's all up to the jury.
It is all up to the jury.
The competitions at that point don't matter. Wow, okay.
But they do often sway the jury, because a lot of times they'll be like, well, you won this many competitions. So it does matter.
Type of thing.
Right, because it's almost like they have to build their resume. And so it's like they have to try to stay on good terms with the people that they're evicting. But it is really interesting once it gets to...
That is an interesting tidbit that I did not know was coming.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. And the list this week is fun games that exist only in our heads. And I believe I'm the only one who added to this list. So this is fun games that exist only in my head. So
I would like to add clowning to this list, because I feel like they only exist in our head.
True. Well, the Swifties heads, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a special kind of head to be in, for sure. So
for sure.
Yeah, no, that's a good one to add. It's also mine are. I feel like I'm being real vulnerable with these ones. Because they're so strange.
Okay.
So. Well, some of them are so strange. This first one, guessing, this one's not too strange, but guessing every time the groceries are on the belt at the store going up to the cash register, I just look at them and I try to guess the price.
Like collectively or of each item?
Collectively.
Okay.
And I'm real good at this point. Like,
that's awesome.
My ex and I would play this game all the time, and I would be within like 10, 20. I was always closer, but like usually
that's awesome.
Within like $10. Like, real good at this.
Women know.
Next one is I can't step on the crack on the sidewalk. It's not because I think I'm going to break my mama's back.
That's good.
But
you just can't do it.
No, I can't.
It's another world. I don't want to go into that portal.
And then I have this thing where I try to get equal steps in between each crack.
And you can't.
You can't always.
Really, you have to, unless you're doing like a, like.
And then I try to figure out the pattern. I'm like, do I have to do 2 steps, 3 steps? Has this ever happened to you?
Yeah, all the time.
Every
day when I walk home with James and I'm staring at the sidewalk.
Okay, well, I'm glad we're both being vulnerable.
Yeah, that's happening in both of our heads. That's fair.
This one is probably just me.
This is the one that I audibly laughed at earlier when I was looking at the list.
Okay. So, and I rode horses as a child. So, and this was very prevalent when I was a child at riding passenger all the time because I
Couldn't drive.
Yeah. So I would look out the window and I would just kind of imagine that I'm riding a horse next to where the car is going, kind of parallel with the car.
Is there ever any arm movements?
No, I'm not actually moving, but in my head, this horse, I'm on that horse and the horse is next to me at all times, next to the car, and we're riding. And if there's a sign or something, the horse jumps over the sign.
Incredible.
Yeah.
This is very specific. I think maybe there are probably some other horse girls out there that probably have had this experience.
Let us know.
I would think.
Yeah, I would definitely, if this is a shared experience,
we would need to know.
I do need to. Yes.
Yeah.
Because, just feeling a little weird for that one. I'm okay with it.
I like that for you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
It's weird that it hasn't gone away because I don't ride horses anymore. I would.
I will say
expensive.
I'm a little concerned about that.
Should I talk to the therapist about it?
It could be one of those days where you don't have anything to talk about.
I was gonna say the thing is it's low on the priority list.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to be causing any harm at this point.
That we're aware of.
True. I'll jot it down on my list. Story time, since we're having a Taylor-centric episode, I'll tell the story of the time that I went to the Eras tour. You might think the story would be about me being at the concert. And it is not. It is about me getting to the concert. So we called an Uber, as one does, because we were thinking, it's going to be a mess.
Yeah.
It's going to be a mess to drive there. The city is pretty much closed down, blocks around the stadium. Where do you park? It's going to take hours to get out. Don't want to do it. So we call an Uber. Uber shows up. Her name, and usually I don't use real names, but I feel like I have to in this scenario.
Oh.
Her name, and I kid you not, was Karen.
Had to be, right?
Had to be. I am visibly 6 months pregnant at this point.
Yeah.
So I'm with a coworker of mine, my husband at the time, and me and my baby inside of my belly.
Me and the human I'm growing.
Yes. And also, I should just add that we had just come back from Rochester that day. So we woke up at 2 a.m.
Oh, geez.
To get on a flight from Rochester to Florida. And we had just gotten home an hour before. I didn't even get to dress cute for the Eras tour because I had to run inside, shower, throw some clothes on. I kind of messed up because I didn't look I was trying to keep everything a secret. So I didn't look at any TikToks or anything. And I didn't realize people were dressing up like that.
Yeah. It's a part of it.
Yeah. And our stop was pretty
in
early
the beginning.
of the tour as well. So I should have watched some TikToks. But anyways, so we're in the Uber. When we first get in the Uber, it says about 45 minutes till we get there, which is a bit long for that drive. But again, lots of traffic.
Yeah.
We start talking to Karen, and she's like, oh, where are you guys headed? And we're like, oh, we're going to see Taylor Swift, the Eras tour. And she's like, what? And we're like, yeah, no, we're going to Taylor Swift. We really didn't want to drive. And she's like, well, thanks for calling me to do it instead.
Don't you see where they're going? Isn't that kind of the point?
You're dropping me off at a stadium. What did you think was going to happen?
Right. I'm just going to an empty stadium.
Also, what rock are you living under? You can't, there's billboards up over the, places have their buildings painted for this. Everyone knows about the Eras tour.
Yeah.
Where are you? And she did come from another city nearby, but still, even in that city, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It is all over the radio. It's everywhere you go and look. It's all over social. It's everywhere. How do you not know? Especially, I'm surprised Uber doesn't send out some kind of notification.
You would think.
So she's grumpy about taking us, and I think at one point I was like, should I cancel it? Because we hadn't gotten that far yet, and she was already annoying me. So I'm like, you can drop us off and we'll call.
Yeah, we'll find somebody else who's not pissed off about this.
Yeah, and she thought about it and she's like, no, it's fine. Okay, so as we're driving, the time is adding on because the traffic. So initially it was supposed to be 45 minutes. I'm looking down at the phone, and every time I look down, it's like another 15 minutes have added on. Meanwhile, Karen is talking to us. And sometimes I like an Uber driver that's chatty.
Right.
This day I was a little,
you were just tired.
I was tired.
Yeah.
I didn't need it. Okay. And we're trying to be excited about the Eras tour. And every time we mention it, she has some like offhanded comment about, there's going to be so much traffic when we get there. They never have a place for Ubers to drop people off. And I'm like, no, every time they do. What do you mean they never have a place for... No, that's...
She's never driven anyone to and from a concert before.
No, she had, because she was complaining about it, telling me about all the other terrible concert experiences she has had dropping people off, specifically at this stadium. So I'm like, why did you take the ride that went to this stadium? Okay, so she starts like really opening up to us. She tells us a story of how her son passed away from an overdose. Super sad. And like, I feel like that's terrible. I feel for her. But at the same time, is this like appropriate in this moment?
Is this the time for that story?
Mm-hmm. And then she also mentioned that he had a girlfriend who was pregnant, who miscarried, and that she thinks that that girl's father has the fetus in a shrine in his closet. And granted, again, I am
pregnant,
visibly pregnant. So like maybe miscarriage talk isn't
the topic we need to be going with.
And keeping fetuses in shrines, like, Karen, what are we doing? Okay, and in between all these stories, I'm looking down, and the time is just adding on. We're not getting any closer. So finally, I think it was like an hour and 15 minutes later, we're near the stadium.
3 hours later.
And there's signs that say Ubers this way. Now, the directions on her phone are bringing her to the stadium because the directions don't know where the Uber drop-off area is, right? So we're passing this left turn lane, and I see that the left turn lane takes you into where the Uber thing is, which is across the street from the stadium, but there is a pedestrian bridge. That's why they had set it up that way. And they did have a barricade to where people couldn't make a U-turn and then turn right in there. They wanted you to make that left turn. And she saw the barricade, and she's like, no, we can't go in there. We can't turn in there. And I'm like, no, it's open for our lane. Like, turn in there. Make that turn. Please don't pass it. And she's like, no, that's not it. That's not it. And she's like arguing me on it. And I'm meanwhile seeing other people from the left lane turn into it. Ugh. So we're near the stadium, but we're on a very busy road in the left lane, and the stadium's on our right. And at this point, we were just like, I think we're just going to get out of the car.
We're going to run through traffic
and walk through the 4 lanes of traffic, because she was going to go around and try to figure out how to drop us off at the stadium instead of at the Uber place. And you can't go. It's going to take an hour to go around the block.
Right. It's not possible.
What is she
Karen
thinking?
No, she's not.
So we ended up just getting out of the car. And I was 6 months pregnant, walking across 4 lanes of busy traffic.
That's the best decision you ever made.
No, it was. Yeah, I no regrets on that one. Yeah. And then just another little tidbit. After the concert was amazing, obviously. After the concert, when we were trying to go home, we were going to Uber home. Well, that was our plan. My cell phone had died during the concert because, again, we hadn't been home at all.
Right.
My husband at the time's phone had also died, and then my coworker had recently moved to Tampa, so she doesn't know many people in the area. So she's trying to get us an Uber. We had waited for, I think, an hour and a half, and still no Ubers were picking up our... And, like, some Ubers were coming. I think I was just so busy that, like, we weren't getting the Ubers. And we tried Uber, we tried Lyft, we tried all of them. We weren't getting them. So she had recently started talking to a guy, and she called him, and he came and picked us up at 2 a.m. from the stadium.
That's so nice.
So nice. And drove us 30 minutes home.
That's so nice.
And he brought his dog too, which looked a lot like my dog, and that just like made my day.
After the awful ride to the tour, like, I'm sure you were like so glad to be in a vehicle with anyone else.
Yes.
Literally.
He was a great guy too. Super nice. I mean, who does that? Yeah, so nice. So yeah, that's the story of
Damn
Karen.
it, Karen.
So who's the better friend? This week's category is beverages. So I'm gonna guess Amber's first. In number 1, I have Kim Crawford Sauvignon Blanc. I can't say it.
That's on the list, but it's not number
Damn,
1.
I had it at number 2 first.
Okay, so
Well, a point for me. Okay, number 2, I have coffee.
Coffee is on the list, but not at number 2.
Okay. And number 3, I have H2O.
Not on the list.
Damn. Okay, well, maybe I didn't do so good this week.
Okay, so the list is number 1, an Americano.
Coffee counts for that.
It does. I said it counted.
Oh, you did.
It just didn't get in the right.
I got pissed. Okay. Damn, see, I had coffee first, too, and I switched it, because you said you only had one on there, and I'm like, that has to be the improv. Okay, sorry.
That's hilarious. Number 2 is lemonade. I wouldn't know that one, yeah. I don't drink it often. Like, it's not something, I really don't buy very many drinks.
But it didn't say your most often
beverages.
It said your favorite, so that's fair.
Lemonade. And then I put white wine.
Okay.
So you did good. Okay, so for Tori, my first guess, number 1, I put seltzers. Both, like, non-alcoholic seltzers and the alcohol kind, too.
That's 1 point for you. It's seltzers is on there, but
okay, cool.
Not in number 1.
Okay, and I don't even know if that's your drink.
That's not at all my drink. Yeah, so I'm trying to figure out how to, because I actually hate mocha.
And I said white chocolate mocha, which I feel like most people are against white chocolate.
I do like white chocolate, but I would do a white chocolate latte, not a mocha.
See, that is a lot. A white mocha is a latte. And a mocha is a latte. They're both lattes.
But they have chocolate. Mochas have chocolate in them.
Right.
I don't like the chocolate in there.
So just latte.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm okay with white chocolate in there, but not. I've always assumed that there's white chocolate and chocolate.
No,
white chocolate.
No, the white chocolate is just white chocolate.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
But
what you're referring to is usually called like a black and white, because it's mocha and white mocha.
Okay.
But either way, they're all lattes. One just has flavor.
Okay. I was under the impression that I hate mochas, so I'm not sure how to judge this one, because I did have something kind of similar.
You had coffee on there?
Yeah.
I don't know that counts then. Like, if I had said coffee, but it was white chocolate mocha, I feel like that would have counted, but I don't think it counts otherwise. Okay, and then my third guess was a sour beer or red wine.
That's 1 point.
Nice.
So we tied here.
Nice. Okay, so what were your actual answers?
Number 1, coffee.
Okay, fair.
Number 2, LaCroix.
Okay.
And then number 3, wine.
Okay.
So we did pretty good. We know each other well. We just got in the wrong. So tune in next week. We're going to do favorite desserts for Who's the Better Friend.
Yep. And that's all we have for you today. Follow us on Instagram at OutOfTouchPcast. Follow us on TikTok at OutOfTouchMoments. And send us an email at outoftouchcast@gmail.com.
Boom.
Bye.